Welcome to Tech Biz Now. Our episode today is Numbers Speak, using numerology for business success. Today we'll explore how Bizology unveils your business' unique character and what it is here to do in the world. Your business has its own distinct identity. Its start date and name determine its interactions with the business world. Discover how uncovering the numerical codes associated with your company can illuminate its strengths, weaknesses, and untapped potential. Hi everyone, welcome to Tech Biz Now. This month we are going to discuss something different. I'm very thrilled to introduce today's guest, Jo, the visionary founder of Bizology. Jo is a business coach and a business numerologist with over 25 years experience in business development, sales, and marketing. She uses the powers of numerology to help her clients elevate their business success. So hi Jo, how are you?
Hi, Anna. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So Jo, first of all, can you tell us a bit more about you and your business?
So thank you so much. So I'm a business coach, a business strategist, and business numerologist, and I use the power of numerology to help you elevate your business success. So what's numerology? So numbers are magic, numbers are deep, numbers are cosmic, numbers are fundamental of form. Nothing happens in life without numbers, right? They're intrinsic to everything that we do. They imagine them as like your friend, they dance around you. And we're all unique. There's no cookie cutter approach in business. What works for you, Anna, won't necessarily work for me. And the concept of numerology is the power of uniqueness. So it shows us who we are and what we're here to do in our lives and business. So in 2018, I created Bizology, which helps you understand who you are as a business owner. So it doesn't mean that business is going to be a bed of roses. It's not meant to be, but it just takes out some of the guesswork and it helps you stop the comparisonitis and imposter syndrome, put your blinkers on and stay in your lane.
That's very interesting. So I'm always interested with these types of things. But what is numerology? How did you get into that particular topic?
So as I said, numbers are magic, they're deep, they're cosmic, and they're fundamental of form. Numerology is a method by which we recognize our divinity and connection. So it's as old as time, right? It's as old as the hills, but it's as new as the next decision you're going to make in your business. So numerology was used by the ancient Greeks, the Egyptians. Pythagoras is the man who put numerology on the map. It was used by the Chaldeans, the Babylonians. It's in the Bible. It's in the Kabbalah. It's ancient esoteric energies. So also astrology is very popular. Human design is very popular nowadays. But the beauty of numerology is less is more, right? The more kind of data, the more confusion. The more confusion, the more delusion. So why I love numerology is that it's less reference points, so you can understand yourself quicker because there's less to get your head around. So I went to an event in 2017 and the keynote speaker's opening gambit was forget International Women's Day, it's International Women's Millennium, right? Why? Because we're working under the energy of the two. So the 2 is very sensitive. We're in the 2000s. The 2 is very emotional. The 2 is feminine. We were born into the 19, which is 10, which is 1, which is very masculine. So everything he said that night created light bulb moments for me. I bought every book I could read on the subject, which can be a bit confusing because lots of numerologists use lots of different terminology. I studied 2 courses at a London college. And then what I did is took my coaching business. I work with heart-centered female entrepreneurs, and I changed it, I merged it, I blended it to Bizology, and that was 6 years ago now. And I've created my own modality, which is trademarked, and I work with mainly coaches and authors and artists, helping them understand who they are on a deeper level.
Okay, so how do we use, you mentioned the concept of Bizology. Can you explain it a bit more, and how do we use it? What does it play in shaping our identity as a business, of course?
Okay, so we start with understanding who you are as a business owner, okay? Because we've all got a numeric chart. So the first thing to do is to understand your own numeric chart. And 75% of what's going on in our lives and business is related to our life path number. This is the most important number we use in numerology. So Anna is working, if she chooses to, with the energy of the number 9, the humanitarian. So it's all about love, it's all about vision, it's all about compassion. And what do we do when we need help in the UK? We ring 999, right? And this is 75% of your chart. However, there's 7.9 billion people in the world. We don't just chop everyone up into 11 numbers. That's like saying I'm Aries and the next person is Leo. It goes a lot deeper than that. So I'm working with the energy of the number 1, and it's called the leader, and they have to be self-employed. And I had like amazing jobs all over the world, but I was never that content because ones really don't like being told what to do. They need to take advice as a side dish. And when I understood that, I knew I had to be self-employed. But when I found numerology, I was self-employed. But the big thing for Life Path 1, they have to do something different. They have to do something innovative. They have to do something that hasn't been done before. So Bizology that I created works really, really well for me because it's new, it's innovative, it's different, it's unique. It's helps me be independent. It helps me be self-employed. So what I did was I looked at all of the aspects of a 1 and what they have to do, and I started applying those concepts to my life and business, and guess what? Life started to really work out. I started to really stay in my lane, understand myself on a deeper level. My bank account improved. I bought a house on my own, which is no mean feat when you're single and self-employed. So what it helps you to do is really understand why you're here. So that's the life path number, but it goes a lot deeper. So I'm born on the 4th of the 4th, and 4 is structure, control, routine, and system, right? We've got 4 fingers, 4 seasons, 4 directions, 4 elements, 4 walls to a house, 4 wheels to a car, 4 parts to your brain, 4 pairs to your DNA, etc., etc. So 4 keeps us on track in life. So it's easier for me to hang out in 4. It's easier to hang out on the date of the month you're born on. For me, 4-4. But I don't want to stay there because that's my comfort zone. And what happens in comfort zones? Not much, right?
Yeah.
So I am really organized. I'm a workaholic. I'm a dog with a bone. Nothing gets past me. And I want to respect that 4, and I want to use that 4, which is like beautiful structure and self-discipline, but I don't want to just hang out in that energy, right? So I don't want to be the builder who leads. I want to be the leader who builds. So my numeric chart has 5 key numbers. Mine are 1, 4, 8, 9, 22. The leader, the builder, the CEO, the humanitarian, and the architect of change. So when I know this about me, then I can really start to understand myself deeper. So I'm just having a little look at your deeper numbers from our conversation
Because
the other day.
because we were talking about it, and you talked about the personal differences between personal numerology and Bizology. So yeah, it's been interesting to know more.
So your numbers are, so 9's your life path, which is the
Yeah.
humanitarian, all about vision and helping and healing, and you'll need to watch your boundaries.
Yes.
You're born on the 29th, which is 11, so you love to inspire people. A spiritual connection is also important. 11 is a lot. 11 can be intense, so you'll need to look after your energy as well. But you've got a lot of 3 in your chart, which is communication, books, podcasts, speaking, talking, blogging, writing. So your energies are the humanitarian, the spiritual teacher, the communicator, and the communicator. So everybody is different, and when we are essentially the negative of our numbers, everything else is just guidance. So we have to make sure that we understand what the negative of our numbers are. But when we can look at our numeric chart, it's super, super, super powerful. So that's us, right? We also work in 9-year cycles. There's better years and easier years to do things. I'm
Yeah.
currently in a 6th year, which is about communities and tribes and understanding my audience and relationships and home improvements and love, because 6 is the nurturer. And Anna, you're currently, because
It's 9, right? Every 9. So
you've just had your birthday, so you're
yeah.
currently in a personal year
Yeah, it
11.
is.
So this is, it hasn't really kicked in yet, but an
Yeah.
11 year is quite intense. But you'll
Yes.
quite like it because you're born on the 29th, which is 11. So it's a year to inspire, it's a year to speak, it's a year to go deeper with your spiritual connection. It's a great year if you can manage your energy and balance. So we look at the business owner and their deeper numeric chart. We look at the personal year that you're in. We look at your name. Your name isn't who you are, it's who you look like you are. And then people can treat you like that. And to some extent and purposes, you can behave like that. So I've said my numbers are 1, 4, 8, 9,
Yes.
22, but my name, Joanna Elizabeth Soley, vibrates at a 3. So you see me always wearing leopard print. You see me as the communicator, good on stage, okay on a podcast, got a book in me. So people were always asking me for a book. And I didn't think I had a book in me. I didn't want to write a book. But people see me as the communicator. So what's happened now? I've got Bizology 101, which is my book. So
Yes.
it's good to look at how we're seen. Our name is all the little things about us
So
that are the
that's
big
more of
things.
the personal numerology is our
Yeah,
name.
that's the business owner. So then we look at the business owner, life path, deeper chart, personal year and name. There's other things we look at as well.
Yeah.
But the business, your business is alive. It's got its own Akashic records. It attracts and it repels like you and I attract and repel. It has its own color. It has its own flavor. It has its own style. So it's important to look at the energies of the business. So what date did you start it? Because that's the life path number. What name is the business?
Ah,
Because that's the expression. That's how people see the business. So Bizology vibrates at a 3. So people see my business as, very communicative, very creative, a fun energy, even though I've got my energies are more kind of business energies. So when we are just setting up our business, just starting our business, then our business is run by us as the solopreneur, and our energies run the show. But as your business gains hold, and by that I mean premises, and it gets clients, and it gets online presence, and it gets a footprint, and it makes more money, then its energies start to take over. So Bizology is 6 years old now, so its energies are important. So its name, its date, and its deeper numeric chart. So we look at two things. We look at the business, what the business is here to do, but also what you're here to do. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So I'm actually thinking now, in terms of Bizology, what are some practical strategies for leveraging Bizology in business decision making? Because you mentioned, it's trying to look at how businesses work, because businesses have its own identity as well. So, what practical strategies can we leverage using Bizology?
So we look at the energies of the business, like I just said, the life path number and the name, and we see how it's seen in the world, and we see what it's here to do, and we make sure the strategy of the business is in alignment with that. But also we can look at pricing, right? People put lots of zeros after pricing, and zero is God, and it amplifies the energy. So you've got to make sure that the pricing is in alignment. Also, numbers like 1111, 2222, 4444, people use a lot. But then 1111 is 4, and 4 is about structure, control, routine, and system. And is the product or service 4 in energy? So we have to make sure there's alignment. There's also 4 testing numbers, 4 tricky numbers. These are called karmic debt. 13, 4, 14, 5, 16, 7, 19, 10, 1. We don't really want to use these in our pricing. We don't really want to use these in our business. If we've got them ourselves, we can't change them. You can change your name. But so we want to be mindful of these and be careful to use them. So it's not a case of like copying the formula. You've got to understand the detail, right? And then an event. So you might be running an event. We want to avoid these tricky numbers. You might be running an event. What is the day of the event? If it's a 2-day, which is a bit well, you don't get a 2-day actually. If it's an 11-day, which is really, really, really intense and full on, and you want to run a fun event, then you might want to go for a 3-day, not an 11-day. If you have a business event, you might want to choose an 8-day. If you've got a loving, caring, kind event, you might want to choose a 6 or a 9-day, right? So it's the dates are really important as well. Your name of your new product, what does it vibrate at? Okay, so these are all factors. Pricing, your house number that you work from, your phone number that you ring from, your email, the car you drive, all of these things have an impact, and some are more important than others.
I see. So also I've been in business for a long time as well. So there's certain instances that I really want to look at what's coming up in the next year. So how can Bizology help business identify and capitalize on market trends, for example, or something that's up and coming?
It's a really good question. What I would do is look at the energy of the industry, like the words and the names and how it vibrates. So, like the word Google is 7, and 7 is about seeking and thinking and learning and questioning and asking. So, I would look at the energies of like the industry and the other key players and the compatibility of yourself in the market. But it's really important to say that we work in 9-year cycles, and there's better years and easier years to do things. So sometimes the tide is in and sometimes the tide is out. So what I always do is look at where the business, if it's a huge business ran by like a group of directors, what year the business is in. But if it's a smaller business run by a business owner with a team or a freelance team, look at the business owner's personal year, and then what that personal year is for, because the tide is in, the tide is out, the tide is in, the tide is out. There's some tricky years. An 11-year, like nothing happens quickly. A 4-year, nothing happens quickly. A 7-year, nothing happens quickly. A 9-year, you've got to let go. So even though you've got market trends going on, you've also got to look at what the soil is fertile for in your business right now, because it might be better to wait until next personal year because the tide is more optimal for business growth. So it's like layering both simultaneously, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's quite interesting. I'm actually looking at as well, like for example, like if you've been in business for a long time, you look at how you would grow and expand. So how can a Bizology help businesses uh, during the times of growth and during the times of expansion?
Okay, so I'm currently writing a planner, actually,
Oh, okay,
and
that's really
it's
good.
a 9-year planner, and each year I'm taking people through their personal years, and it goes deeper as well. But the kind of questions that the kind of information that I'm helping them is like how you create more flow and move forward in your business by being aware of, what they need to be aware of. And then like the strategies they need in order to achieve this, but some areas they have to make sure that they're not blindsided by. So like you're in an 11-year, so it's really important not to overreact because the energy is so intense, because the
Mhm.
ups and downs aren't evident and unexpected events could throw you off balance. So you have to keep your feet on the floor. Then every year you get a chance to feel what it's like to be that number. So in an 11-year, the spiritual teacher, it's all about really understanding that 11 life path. So I've written some optimal areas to learn, opportunities to look out for, the best products and services to design and launch, optimal systems and support, and things you can stop, start, and continue. But I've also gone a bit granular with the month, like the optimal energies, what you should be mindful of, lead gen ideas, content ideas, um, ways to add value to your community and to launch or not to launch. So that's kind of going
Mhm.
deeper. I've asked some top line questions as well, but that's going deeper in alignment with this is what's happening this year. So a 1-year, go for it. A 3-year, put your message out there. A 5-year, mix things up, change it. An 8-year, sell, sell, sell. But some years, like a 9-year, you don't want to start anything new
Yeah.
because it's a closure, endings, completion year.
Mhm. Okay. So also, I'm actually thinking like I like in my business, I do a lot of partnerships and collaborations as well. So how can Bizology provide insights into the compatibility of business partnerships and collaborations? Because I do believe that, it does have an impact.
Yeah, compatibility is a real thing in numerology, and some numbers get on better with other numbers. It doesn't mean to say that you can't get on with
Yeah,
any
yeah,
numbers,
yeah.
but top line, odds get on with odds and evens get on with evens, right?
I see.
So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, it's of the mind. Our numbers of the mind. 2, 4, 6, 8 is emotional numbers. So my partner's an 8. So he's an emotional energy. I'm a 1. My life partner, not my business partner. I'm a 1, which is the leader, and he's the CEO. So, like 8s nail it in business, they intuitively know what to do. Like, he's amazing in business, but he's more emotional than me because 8 is a more emotional number. But if you know that, then you can you can give everyone a bit of a break. He knows that I'm high quick start. He knows that I'm independent. He knows that like I'm 100 miles an hour because of my numbers. So it really helps you understand each other. So that's like emotionally, but then in business as well. So if you've got a 22 life path and they are working with another 22, like that's huge energy, and they both want to like go and run the show, and then understanding that they need to give each other space or a bit of a break or define job roles will work, because master numbers can see more, be more, and do more. So then if you've got you're not the number next to you, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm a 1 and a 2, life path 2, that would drive me mental, a 2, because it's really sensitive. My mum's a 2. I mean, I love her, but she drives me mad because it's like, they worry, it's balance, eating the elephant with a teaspoon. Well, my numbers are jump over a mountain, then look behind me. So I mean, people have got their own opinions about this, but the tarot is very good at understanding the numbers more, because 1 is the magician, 2 is the high priestess, right? 2 waits a bit, 1 goes for it, magician. So if you understand the energy of the people in your team or your business partner, then that really helps. But also, if there was a merger, then to look at the energies of the company, because it's culture, because it seeps through and seeps down. So then you can see, what the merger looks like, the new company name, the date of merging, etc.
Yeah. So one of my the things that I would like to know as well. So what tips and advice would you give entrepreneurs looking to use Bizology into their business strategy? Because of course, like for me, I plan a lot, like ahead of time, like a year in advance. I would plan the business. So what tips and advice would you give entrepreneurs looking to integrate it in their business?
So the most important number, like I said before, is the life path number. So we really have to look at who you are and what you're here to do, because that's 75% of what's going on. And your deeper chart is important as well, but your personal year is super, super important. So I'm a life path 1 and I love to take action, and I'm really innovative and like super, have loads of ideas and really creative, and hate inaction, and want to jump over mountains, right? But I'm about to have my birthday in about 5 weeks, and I'm going to be going into my personal year 7, and nothing happens quickly. No one brings you back. It's a sabbatical year. Things will happen, but not on my time frame. So if I didn't know that, I'd be going, well, I've been in the 6th year and it's about community and collaboration, and everyone wants to talk to me on their podcast, and now the phone's ringing. What have I done wrong? I haven't done anything wrong. There's better years and easier years to do things. So you can still make money in the 7th year. You just got to go about it in a different way. But because I know this, I can plan it for it, right? Yeah. So I'm going to go into a seeking, learning, introspection year. I can feel it kick in already. Some of my clients will want to work with me in a different way. It's happening already. I've made big decisions in my business already because I can feel it coming. I am launching something big in my 8th year. So in my 7th year, I'm learning about it. I want to run a retreat, but it needs a bit of work. So in my 7th year, I'm researching it, right? So it's not a stop everything year, but in a 7th year, you've got to do things differently.
Yeah.
Because your 8th year is success and wealth, and it depends what you've seeded in the last 7 years. So if you've sat on the sofa watching Netflix for 7 years, guess what? The 8th year's not going to kick in. But because I seeded in my 1 year, I wrote the energy in my 11 year, I communicated and did my podcast in a 3 year, I got my ducks in a row, my business foundations in my 4 year, I changed things up in my messaging in my 5 year, I went deep in my tribe and audiences in my 6 year. So now my 7 year, I'm going to do the learning and seeking and questioning and asking and planning and get under the bonnet of the business. So in my 8 year, I can harvest the last 7 years. And then in my 9 year, I've got to let go of a lot of it. Fulfillment, completion, wrap things up to start again in my 1 year. And that is game changing.
I see. I see. So I'm very interested with all of this now. So, and you mentioned something about your book. So can you give us a bit of information about your book, where we can get it?
Yeah, of course. So it's called Bizology 101, and it's on Amazon, and it's
Oh yes, I'm
Kindle.
gonna get one.
It's on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited and paperback, and it's 300 pages, and there is 44 chapters, and there's 8 parts, and it takes you through an introduction to numerology and bizology. It takes you through your life path number and like how you goal set, how you set your strategy up, how you create your message, how you solve problems, how you get visible on social media, how you manage your time, how you're resilient in alignment with your numbers. Then it's all about your personal year, going deeper with your chart. It's looking bizology in real life, showing you like a famous person and how they manage their business. It shows you the letter of your first name and what that means. It shows you your pricing, your house number and your phone number, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
And then it's infinity and beyond. So what happens next?
Oh, yeah, very, very interesting. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jo. So I think that was one of my last questions. So I think if you have any other things you want to promote, let me know as well.
There's just one thing that might be useful for people. If they go to josoley.com, JOSOLEY.com, then on the homepage there's a Start Here page, and that gives them access to my free Life Path app. They can work out their number.
Cool.
My free personal year app, they can work out their personal year. All my podcasts, my blogs, and the best way is to book a call with me. It's a free call, and top line, I show you your numbers and the ways to work with me.
Okay, that's great. So that's it for today. Thank you, Jo, for being our guest in our show. So we'll be back again next month. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.